Greetings from freezing cold Montana. You asked what I remember about my baptism day. Um, I came in a set of three. It was me, another cousin the following month, and another cousin the following month. And one of those cousins was also a Mormon. And since I was the first one, I had to wait for my Mormon cousin to turn 8. That was the first insult, that my own baptism and birthday wasn't important enough, that I had to wait for his. I grew up in a branch, and so we went to their ward building, which was about a half hour away, and we did the baptisms there. I remember that the font was in the basement, which was really weird. I've never seen a building like that before or since. I can remember my mother being concerned about my underwear showing through my dress. But what I remember most is the aftermath. We went to my cousin's house for a get together with our family because my non member grandparents showed up along with other relatives. And personally, I think that my uncle was abusive. He was a convert to the church, so was my aunt. My dad was a convert, and his sister joined partly because of my father. I know that my parents tried to break up that marriage and were not successful with it. But anyway, I can remember that my uncle had some kind of blowout, screaming and yelling. My grandmother had given me a piece of jewelry. It was a sapphire locket, and there was a playroom in their house. And so while my uncle was out screaming at one of my cousins, I have a cousin that's got visual impairment. And while my uncle was screaming at him for something else that he'd done, I was in the playroom crying. This was supposed to be my special day. And it was all about my cousin and his family. And I was unhappy being there at that house, unhappy to not be special enough. And so that's my memory of my baptism day. My first one. Remember, I was excommunicated. My second baptism was as an adult. The only one there was my abusive husband and my LDS bishop who baptized me. And there must have been someone else there to do the confirmation because my ex-husband was still excommunicated at the time. It was very hush-hush. But the one thing I remember is that I felt like it was a more authoritative baptism, like the spirit was more there, perhaps because it wasn't my father baptizing me. And I deliberately asked that my bishop baptized me, and I didn't want my dad to do it. I can't remember if my parents were there. I don't think I invited them. I don't remember them being there. Those are my stories.